Hi, welcome to the Peace and Love podcast. I'm your host, Siva. Welcome to this week. Today, I'm doing something super special. I felt like this is just a week all about self-love, about self-care, more about self-love and coming from the inside. Instead of just like, okay, can we run ourselves a bath for self-love? How can we show up in every single way, every single day, giving ourselves the love and compassion that we seek from other people and feeling fulfilled and feeling whole just how we are today. So this week I wanted to do a self-love week, and everything I post is somehow related back to self-love. So if you want to catch up on all the other self-love tips that I have this week, you can find me on my socials at Siva's Soul. So with that being said, the podcast episode for this week, I didn't want it to just be blanket self-love because I've done that before, but I wanted it to be something really specific and talk about how we can show up as love, not just for ourselves, but for other people, and how that really helps us in life. So today I'm going to be talking all about living from love, intuition, and alignment. See, the purpose of living from love, intuition, and alignment is, first of all, the ease of life. When you are deeply tuned into your body, you're going to have a clear yes and a clear no for what you do want and what you don't want. And when you have that, it's much easier to act upon your highest excitement, act upon what you really want to do, because you're super clear on what a yes feels like for you and what a no feels like for you. And when you're able to follow what feels good in your body, because you can finally hear it, you're able to start attracting the results that really align with your highest self, that are just like juicy, great results, dream life results, because you're tapping into what feels good and you're able to keep going on that path. And when you're able to do that, the results, oh my gosh, you'll feel so good within yourself that you'll just be a magnet, a freaking magnet to everything that you want and more. The abundance will be there. The love will be there. Everything in your life will fall into place because you're finally speaking the language of your soul. So let's not delay this any further. We're going to get right into it. So the first part I mentioned of feeling into your body, let's talk about how we can do this. So that starts just by getting familiar with your body. Most people in daily life, they are in resistance mode, meaning they are resisting the sensations that they feel in their body, because a lot of times what we feel in our body can bring up some discomfort because it's filled with trapped emotions and things that are unprocessed from the past. But if you're able to drop into your body, you can not only just process those, but you'll start having to access to your emotions as an emotional feedback, as a compass. So you'll start hearing from your body and saying, okay, I feel that. It doesn't mean I need to do anything, say anything, but that's feedback of what works for me. One thing is going to work for me, one thing feels in alignment, and other things are just not going to work for me. And you then can make a conscious decision to align with what works for you. Or maybe you choose to test out what doesn't work and see what happens there. But the first part of being able to get discernment like this is actually being able to feel back into your body. Right now, like, what does your feet feel like? What do your legs feel like? What does your root area feel like? What does your stomach feel like? Your solar plexus, your chest, your heart, your throat, your forehead, your crown. Like, just feeling into these areas. Maybe you notice, okay, my legs don't really feel like much, but maybe there's some heaviness in my chest. That's fine. Whatever is there, you can just sit with that and accept that and enjoy the experience of feeling it. Almost like you're just listening to yourself, like a good friend. Like, imagine someone came in from work, they had a bad day. Even if it feels heavy, they're angry. You can just hold space. You can just make sure that everything is well and listen. So you want to start showing up and doing that for your body, Because when you're able to show up and just hold space for yourself, you're able to finally do some emotional processing, and you can also get feedback of what feels good and what doesn't. When you're in a calm state, you're able to feel into your body. And when you have a question, so should I go to this one area of town? Should I hang out with this one person in this one context? Should I do this with my life? You, in a relaxed state, you can feel that in your body. Ooh, hanging with this person feels exciting, but it just does not feel good, the invitation that they extended. I don't want to go to that place. Oh, okay. Hanging out with this other person, it feels terrible in my body. A clear no. Hanging out with someone else, oh my gosh, a clear yes. Going to the Bahamas, a clear yes. When you are able to be within your body in a calm state, I'm not talking about if you're in a bad mood and dropping into your body and asking these questions. If you're in a bad mood, if you're in a bad state, the first thing to do is just hold space like we talked about and just be with yourself. But when you're at a normal state, you can feel the next best thing to do. And you can feel what just doesn't feel in alignment. When you're in this relaxed state, your emotions will start to become your feedback. It's like, okay, it doesn't feel good for this person to call me late at night. Okay, well, what am I going to do about it? Now, here comes the fun part. Without a doubt, everyone has intuitive hits. Now, what's really impressive is being able to follow up and actually act upon your intuitive hits. So, if you feel, okay, it doesn't really feel right for this person to call me late at night, there's a few things that can happen. Then there comes that good girl mindset or that good boy mindset. Oh, well, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to do anything that would maybe upset the other person. So you just sit within that discomfort in your body. Or you can say, okay, this doesn't feel right in my body. What can I do so it feels right? Okay, maybe that's setting a boundary. Maybe that is blocking that person. Maybe that is doing whatever feels right for you in a healthy way. When you get good at feeling into your body, you can feel, okay, well, blocking that person, it doesn't feel right either. It might be challenging, but what feels really right is requesting that they call me at a different time. And this might be really challenging at first because it might go against your programming. If you have some of that people pleasing or that good girl, good boy, you don't really want to rock the boat. You don't really want to be forward about your desires. Or maybe you're just having a fear about standing up for yourself in a way. Or maybe it's an entirely different emotion that you're feeling within yourself. The amazing part about feeling into your alignment is it doesn't really matter what the results are. It will feel so good staying in alignment within your body that you don't really care if it makes that other person upset, if they don't really get it, because just the action of putting yourself in a position where you are in alignment with your feelings feels good. For example, this week I've been spending time with someone I've really been enjoying getting to know, and he has a really busy job. So I requested that, hey, when we hang out, may I have about 24 hours advance notice before, we plan something. And I know, okay, this might be really hard. He has his schedule is up in the air. He might think that's a big ask. Like, he might say, Siva, you're doing too much. But it felt so good just aligning to my boundary and asking for what I really needed, that it really didn't make a difference to me what his actual answer was. It just felt so good that I was honoring myself. And when you feel so good for honoring yourself, it doesn't matter what that other person ends up doing, but you will start to attract better things. If you came with a bunch of fear of like, oh, I don't know what they're going to say, I don't know what they're going to do, that's one thing. But when you feel so good honoring yourself, you just attract even more goodness, because now you're not in the frequency of frustration with, oh, all these people are taking my time, taking my space, and they don't respect me. Now you're coming from the frequency of wholeness, the frequency of goodness. And of course, he was willing to honor my boundary. And we had a great conversation about it. And I was able to even put in some more boundaries, put in some of the other things I would love and some of the other things I would just enjoy experiencing and know more about what works for him. And it really matters how you're coming from. Like, it matters less exactly what you're saying to people, not exactly like what your boundary is or what feels good to you, but the root of it is how you are being, how you are feeling. So on one level, your words, you're speaking to someone, that matters a whole lot less. Then there's how you're saying it. That matters a whole lot more. But even more important than what you're saying, how you're saying, is where you're coming from. And when you're literally radiating that goodness, that wholeness, that alignment with yourself at a soul level, you will be like attracting your goals times 10. Think about this. Really think about this for a second. If you are, let's say, in a relationship, if you are out there dating and you have been feeling like really frustrated with the results you're getting, and you're just having all of these things in your life that you don't like, you don't understand why people aren't just this certain way, doing exactly what you want them to do. And right then and there, you are stepping into the frequency of frustration, lack, and anger. That magnetically, because like attracts like, is attracting more of that. Now, it doesn't really matter if you're attracting different results. This is why reality creation is important, because you don't necessarily have to have any physical change in order to change from the inside and then affect your physical reality. So you going back to your current circumstances, okay, people are just not doing what you want them to do. Okay, well then how can you become in alignment with yourself and start coming from love? Okay, that person isn't doing what I want them to do, but it feels really good to say, hey, this connection is over. Like, I'm just not available for this connection anymore. Or it might feel really good to say, hey, can you do this for me? Can you buy me flowers? Can we have a date on this day? But now it doesn't really matter that nothing physically has changed on the outside. That person might say, okay, yeah, let's end our connection, and they might be mad at you. Or that other person might say, no, I'm not available. I don't have the capacity to give you flowers. I don't have the money, the time, the space, whatever the case may be. But actually, even though it looks like a fail from the outside, you're really feeling more into your body. You're feeling deeper into what you love. And that is what's going to start to attract the circumstances that you really want. You never want to have everybody saying yes to you, because that means you're trying to please everybody. You want what you want to say yes to you. And by saying no to things that are not aligned, you are saying yes to what you really want. And this creates empowerment. When you say yes to what you really want and you describe and you share what you really want, that will get it to you magnetically. And when you say no to the things that you do not want to do, that keeps away things that you do not want, because you're keeping yourself out of the vibration of anger, resentment, frustration. And that's just going to attract more lack to you. And so when you are able to just be in your body, in your happiness, you already know what's going to happen. Imagine seeing this girl that's like walking around, smiling to herself, singing to herself, just feeling amazing. I mean, a lot of times that's how I catch people's eye. I am just smiling. I am having a fantastic time. And they don't really know why they want to talk to me, but they want to talk to me. They want to see, like, what is this girl so happy about? Why is she in such a good mood? I hear a lot, like, your vibe is just calming. And when you are deeply in your body, when you're deeply enjoying your life, your space, other people can feel that. And they get that energetic transfer, and they'll want to be around you. Your goal will want to be around you when you are the person that it seeks. So now you've gone from seeking money to being the person that money seeks. Seeking a boyfriend to being the girl that the boyfriend seeks. Because you, within yourself, you're just that person. Because you empowered yourself through your intuition and your decisions. So suffice to say, when you are aligning to yourself and you're listening to yourself, you're listening not just to your body, but you're listening to your soul. Your soul gives those little cues as to what you should follow. And when you follow that, you're following the path of your highest timeline and your soul's purpose. Now, you're going to start attracting really good things. But there's a caveat here. Be careful with this. It's so easy to start attracting amazing things, amazing situations, like gifts, amazing places, like just being in beautiful areas. People, like men, women who adore you, who love you, who treat you so well. And something that this woman, Tora Sense, was talking about, and I really love her work, and this point that she makes is don't give other things, other people credit for you. It can be so easy to get into the trap of when you feel so good within yourself and then you start attracting these amazing things, giving that other thing, that other person credit for creating your feeling. So it's important that you remember as you attract these amazing things, you were the one who A, created it, and you're the one, B, who experiences it. If you were not a fun person, you could not be out having fun with this other person. You'd be bored because it wouldn't be within your capacity. If you weren't a beautiful person, you wouldn't see the beauty in other things. So don't give away your power when you start to attract these incredible things. Instead, use it as further proof, further understanding of who you are. I'm reading The Alchemist right now, and I can't relay you the exact words at the beginning of this book, but it was so good. It was talking about Narcissus, I think that's his name, and he, how he looked in the water and he saw himself and he was so amazed by it that he fell in and he drowned. And at the beginning of this book, it talks about from the river's perspective. And the river was so upset that Narcissus died, if that's his name. And he said, it's not so much him, but I really saw my beauty reflected in him. And so when you start to encounter these magnificent beings, these otherworldly experiences, it's so important that you use it as a reminder of your own divinity instead of taking it away. It's like Fred says, like we are a bunch of lighthouses. And when we see other people's light, we're like, oh my gosh, they have it. They have the light. They're the source. Forgetting that the only reason that we even have the capacity to experience that is because we ourselves are the light and we're illuminating the path to experience light. So when you experience all of this goodness, know that it's a direct reflection of who you are being. What you've created in your life today is a direct reflection of your thoughts, feelings, actions, behaviors, beliefs, identity. So when you are looking at something incredible, know that it is because you are a divine, infinite being that attracted that. That's what makes it so incredible. And it's a reflection of you, not because it's the source. When you stand on business, when you are empowered, there's no doubt you will start attracting incredible things. So always remember that that's a direct reflection of the beauty that you are and not something to put on a pedestal. Because when you put something else on a pedestal, you are taking that love, you're taking that alignment away from yourself and you're putting it onto someone else. You're giving away your responsibility and your power. So with the context of this podcast, it's important that you continue to understand you are the source of and continue to come from this love, intuition, and alignment instead of seeking it or thinking it's in someone else. Because when you do that, you're declining your own divine power, your own divine wisdom, and you are giving your power away. If you really want to align with something, maybe even put a clear list together of what you do tolerate, what you do want to align with, and what you just are unavailable for. And then when you are in those situations where something feels off, this doesn't feel exactly like what I see for my own life, you can feel into your body maintain your state, feel good, and decline it. Pick something else. And when you feel that yes, that no, you're starting to feel your alignment. And by choosing to act on it, by choosing to live on your highest timeline, you are living from love, intuition, and alignment. Boom, you're your higher self. I know this was a very quick, kind of flowy episode, but really there is so much goodness in here that if you applied this to your life for a week, I guarantee you would have incredible results. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there as a new person. Just because you accepted something yesterday doesn't mean you have to accept it today. You can change your relationships. You can change your attitude. Like, allow yourself character flexibility. Allow yourself to be a completely different person. Because in order to get completely different results, you must be a completely different person. So allow yourself to just switch it up and say yes to what you really want to say yes to, and say no thank you ma'am to the things that you're just not available for anymore. So with that being said, I really appreciate you. I love you. I'm wishing you the most loving Love Yourself week. Tune into my Instagram, my TikTok, and this podcast if you are ready to learn more about alignment and love. And if you want to book a one-on-one call, there's a link in my bio, or you can reach out to me directly in the DMs or my comments. I appreciate you. I love you so much. Peace and love at ya. Mwah. Bye. Goodbye. A little tune.